Hi everyone, my name is Monique Apodaca and this is my EDL 959 Module 9 case study. And as you all are aware, this is going to be taking place at Triscuit Middle School, and I will be playing the role of Kim, who is the assistant principal at Triscuit. Now let's begin by summarizing this case. Where it's occurring once more is Triscuit Middle School, which houses 7th through 8th grade students. It is located in Rockford City School District, which is just outside a metropolitan area. When this takes place, we're going to say is over a duration of 5 years. Now that's my term so far as an assistant principal, as well as my background as an English language arts teacher. Now with those 5 years, we have to keep in mind that we only teach 7th and 8th grade, so we are seeing through a lot of those 7th and 8th graders. So many students have already left us who have been affected. Once more, I am the assistant principal, Kim. At Triscuit Middle School, our population of students is 650, which between 7th and 8th grade is quite a lot of students. 80% of our students are African American, 17% are white, and 3% are of another descent. Of that percentage of students, total, 65% receive free or reduced breakfast or lunch, and a large portion of those students also have disabilities or multiple disabilities. As for our teachers and staff, there are approximately 80, and they are mostly Caucasian, which is quite different than our students who are 80% African American. Those two don't really match. Now getting into summarizing this case, what has happened? I, Kim, am attempting to blend my background knowledge in ELA, English Language Arts, with recent research that I've studied. I want to promote curricular decisions based on assessment data analysis with both instruction and assessment. So there needs to be some changes occurring with how we instruct our students and how we assess our students based on this data analysis. We need to apply that data to enhance our existing writing curriculum. So something that we've noticed is that on our math and language reading state assessments is that students are failing to write written responses to questions that require one. They are also failing to write the essay portions or anything that asks for a written response. So we know a large portion of our failure comes from our writing. So we want to take our data that is analyzed and we want to apply it to our current writing curriculum, which we'll hear about in just a bit. We also need to be better at expanding multicultural exposure. That shouldn't happen just every now and then. A great way to expand on this is within our writing. And finally, I hope to improve scores on state achievement tests, once again in those written responses, for both math and reading. Now, any legal or ethical issues here? The legal issue that we can find is that IEPs and 504s require differentiated instruction. It's required for the case matter of a free and appropriate public education. Students that have IEP and 504s, as well as any other documented disability, do require and should get differentiated instruction. Now, I don't think this is happening on purpose, that our students aren't receiving differentiated instruction, but our teachers are still lacking to do so. Now, before we move on into our ethical issues, that will reach a different group, but for our legal issues, that is mainly going to face our students with disabilities. But we also have students from different cultures that are being harmed here. Both groups, their educational needs are not being met. So when it comes to the ethical issues of this background, There's a lack of multicultural integration. Multicultural awareness is not something that we are focusing on currently, which means if those aren't being focused on, those multicultural students from different backgrounds, are also not receiving differentiated instruction to meet their needs. What if they've never seen snow? What if they don't know what something of Western culture is? Our teachers also preference direct instruction, and that does not work for a lot of students. A lot of students need visual aid, they need indirect instruction, cooperative learning, audio aids, and we are not providing that for them. And finally, just like I said before, our current staff does not reflect the population of our school. Our staff is heavily Caucasian versus our student body being heavily African American. So to synthesize what is happening in this case, Triscuit Middle School consistently scores low on math and reading state achievement tests due to short answer, written response, and essay questions. So we want to figure out how we can improve on this without changing curricula, because we do have a curriculum in place. So some known facts to get us started with before entering our options. The people in this case, Kim, myself, the assistant principal. We have students in 7th and 8th grade, which includes multicultural students as well as students with disabilities, IEPs, and 504s. We have our teachers, the ones that are doing the instruction. Ellen, who was our trainer, who comes in to help guide the formula writing. That is our curriculum of choice. Our community and district, because those are the students that we will send out into the community eventually. And then we also have our parents, who 25% are involved, but a whopping 75% are not involved in their child's education. Once more, our place is Triscuit Middle School with our 7th and 8th grade students. We have 650 total between those two grades and 80 teachers/staff. We once more are located in the Rockford City School District, which is rural, but we are just outside the metropolitan area. Now with our program and this process, we do have a mixture in our class. We have our general education students, our benchmark. We have many inclusion students, which are going to be our students with disabilities. And we also have students with multiple disabilities, as well as many students from different backgrounds than their teachers. Our specific writing program is the formula writing. It's very structured, teaches kids how to form paragraphs, which form essays, which come from sentences, so very basic. It is taught in all core subjects, but teachers have scheduled days when they work on writing so that students are not overwhelmed. And we have given our students our teachers resources for formula writing as well as the professional development. Now, some things we don't know with our facts. Is there any other administration involved with Kim? Is the principal involved? They run the school. They should be heading this up as well. Why is there so little parent involvement? It's another question we can ask ourselves. And finally, one question I thought of is it possible to hire an administrator who solely takes care of curriculum? Can we have a curriculum coordinator as an administration position? For place, how are other schools doing on these state assessments around us? Are they matching certain scores? Are they low? Are they high? We don't know that. And finally, questions about the program. When was the formula writing model introduced? So how long has this been around? Do we teach it with fidelity? How much professional development was given to staff before the implementation? Is it possible that they need more, or can we offer more? Is this done with technology? Is it not? And finally, are we using learning communities within our school where teachers meet and discuss things that are going well, things that they could use assistance on, So are we having those learning communities within our staff? Because I think they could be helpful. Our stakeholders in this situation are going to be our students, parents and families, teachers and staff, administration, the district, and our community. Obviously, students and teachers are going to be the most affected by any decision that we come to. All relevant stakeholders have been contacted in this case scenario, but I do think that we could learn more about the situation, such as the questions I asked before. When was the model introduced, the writing? How much PD was given? Is it possible to give more? And how other schools compare to us currently? Not knowing that information, I do think that I could learn more before making a decision, such as the timeline that I have for scores to increase. Is there a unified improvement plan that needs to be submitted to the district and to the state that lets them know how we are trying to improve? How to handle staff that don't want to make changes. We have teachers, veteran teachers mainly, that are stuck in their ways. So how do I handle those staff members that don't want to make changes? But even not knowing that information, I think I could make a decision. My first option would be the directive control, which is an immediate strategy. I myself would develop a plan and tell teachers what to implement into their classroom instruction. That could be strategies, anything that could assist them. I could also provide professional development, additional professional development, for teachers to help them implement and apply this writing curriculum with fidelity, and different teaching strategies to go along with it. Now, what I think I could face from this option is pushback from teachers, being seen as a micromanager, and that teachers feel their opinions and wants are not valued. They're taking a back seat. The second option is the more comprehensive or liberal action. Myself and a group of teachers develop a plan of action for what to implement into their classroom instruction. So not just myself, as I'm not a teacher anymore, but get those stakeholders involved as well. I think in this case, it would still be important for me to offer additional professional development for those teachers to, again, teach the curriculum with fidelity and different strategies. I think that teachers in this case scenario would be more open to accepting my help and what we've come to the table with. I think they'd feel more valued because there would be stakeholders involved besides myself, and I think this gives them more room for creativity. As for my third option, this would be the no decision or change. This is the non-directive approach. Teachers are still able to choose how they're going to implement strategies in their classrooms. I'm not giving them any ideas at all. I think that I could still offer the professional development, but I don't think that it would be taken if teachers could still do whatever they wanted to with their own strategies. I think by doing this approach, of course the teachers are going to feel valued because they get to do whatever they please. They still get to be as creative as they like, but my staff might not be cohesive. Evaluating the pros and cons of these options, directive control. The pros of this, and this is my immediate strategy once more, is that my staff is cohesive. Everybody's doing the same thing because I am making it clear what I want done. Differentiation is occurring, and multicultural awareness is brought into the classroom. Again, because this is in my control. The cons of this approach, however, are that teachers' opinions are devalued. It is going to come off as micromanagement, and I'm going to receive some type of teacher pushback. As for the collaborative option, this would still make it cohesive among staff, what we are doing and what's expected. The teacher's opinions switch to being valued because they are one of the stakeholders with me. They can still be somewhat creative with their strategies. They are differentiating, and we have multicultural awareness in the classroom. Now, I would still receive some teacher pushback with this, and some teachers would still be unhappy.